All right, here we go again. Um, I need to work on. I probably need to work on a better sound system, plus a better, um, possibly a better recording system. Let's see, where are we going? Oh, yep, there we go. We're just using the camera and the onboard mic on here, which I'm not sure where the onboard microphone is had, but it's here. I am shooting this as I groom myself as well. The nice thing about being an actor, and I have been an actor, a professional actor in the past, not many of the things you'll see online. There are a few things that friends and acquaintances have found, and those who know how to search different things have found them much better. But um, as far as um, acting and improvisation goes, I was just thinking about this, and it seems like a lot of this channel is my musings, the things I think about, the things that I take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you put them all together and they make uh, quite a lovely meal, if we can use that analogy. Or you put enough small little bits and parts together and you get a car or a cell phone or an electronic circuit or one of us, because we are just made up of little bits and parts and pieces. So um, when you put enough of those things together and in the right order, you get these miraculous things sometimes that happen. Um, the Lord, when He talked, He uh, spoke many times, and the prophets also have talked and spoke many times of us, physically us being temples. Um, and I've thought about that. I thought, well, we know that we have, or we know that through um, Joseph Smith, that we are made up of matter and material and even our spirit. The part of us, I think, that does the thinking, um, the part of us that is aware, and some of us are not aware. Some of us are very unaware. And even those of us who think we're aware are probably less aware of things than we really are. We probably see things all the time that may or may not be there, or that we project upon others. Um, why do you hate me? Why do you love me? Why do you do this? Why do you? It's like was just being nice, and so we don't get. Sometimes we read into things more than what they are, or sometimes we read in less than what we are. And sometimes we, as a people, and me as a good actor, I know that I have on many occasions said, I really screwed those lines up. Blah. I really did that. And this was in front of an audience, in front of a paying audience. Not that I got any of that money, but they were a paying audience. They paid X number of dollars to come and see this particular performance that this group, which I was part of then, put on. And me at the end of the show thought, I screwed up my lines. I didn't do this right. Did I do this okay? And then somebody saying at the end of it, you know, that was the best I've ever seen that particular character being portrayed. And I went, okay, you're welcome. Um, but uh, as an actor auditioning for things, I was also taught that um, one shouldn't do an audition and go, "Ah, I really screwed that up. That's awful. I can't believe I did it like that." Ah, like I mean, in front of the people that you're auditioning with. Um, you don't do that because whatever it was you delivered at that moment in time and space may be exactly what they were looking for. So it's okay for you to be able to listen to the director and say, would you like some more of this or would you like some more of that? Um, and sometimes, which really makes us as actors, anyone who I'm talking to that have gone through the auditioning process, because we hear so many people complain about, oh, I hate job interviews. I just don't like having to do them. Oh. And yet you have to do maybe a dozen job interviews before you land a job. Um, and yet actors have to do hundreds of thousands of those interviews to land a job until you become known by people. And YouTubers are certainly getting to be known by the general public, by the people that they follow, and almost to the point of those other celebrities that are out there that are in commercial entities, to the point where, oh, the person that you're portraying here in this thing, uh, I know that I know that person. Oh, I know all of the things about you. It's like so good. Can I get your autograph? Can I get a selfie with you? Oh, I know who you are. It's like no, no. It's a lot like actors that you know, the great late actor Robin Williams. Uh, People thinking, oh my goodness, that that manic energy that he has. But that manic energy, and as an actor, and seeing him once or twice, um, both when he wasn't acting, Robin Williams, very quiet, very apologetic, very, for the lack of a better word, very centered. Um, and that kind of comes to the point of where I was talking about, where we, this fleshy thing, not my ears, but this whole piece from top to bottom, we're not going to show you the bottom, because the joys of the internet now, yeah, we're looking good from neck up right now. Um, but when we're in our bodies, and I believe again that there's those two parts of us. There's the hard part of us, which is our our body, the physical part, and then there's our soft part, the part that does the thinking, the feeling, the understanding, and it being connected with the hard part of us. So if anybody knows any of the martial arts, you'll notice that those are the two parts that go together. This is the part that makes up um, a full being, and that is up to us as to whether it becomes a full being or not. Um, but it's a pretty miraculous thing, this thing. But as we go through our own day to day life, sometimes the spirity part of us, the gets too far ahead. It goes, okay, well, I've got to be able to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do this, and it's almost like these two things are farther apart. So this thing here is either farther ahead of what this thing is, or in some cases where we completely poo-poo ourselves. It's like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done that, which is still a good thing too, where you take and evaluate. Otherwise, we don't learn things. We take and evaluate. Okay, well, I messed up in this, or I said this, or I said that, or I did this, or I did that. And the reaction of most of the people around me probably wasn't near as favorable as I'd like. Okay, so I've got to work on some of that. But then that's way back over here. If this is the line of movement or direction that we're going, so either we're too far ahead of this thing, or sometimes we're too far behind. We live so much in the past. And in the world of, if you've taken a ping pong ball, for any of those people who have played ping pong, and you take that ball and they bounce just lovely. Sometimes the sound is quite intriguing. Um, but if you take that ping pong ball and bounce, 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 and you take your racket and put it down on top of it, it just bounces with so much. It bounce, 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 and then as it gets closer together, as you squash that thing together, all of a sudden it becomes very, very energetic in that. And unfortunately, it's only using, and I don't know enough about the words, it's only using its potential energy of bouncing back up and down and back up and down. But that energy of bouncing, it's pretty phenomenal. Um, but as we get closer, then, as this part of us gets closer to this part, and we become present, uh, as these things become closer together, they become present. It gets back to that energy that works really well. And that energy, when it works that well, we can do some pretty amazing things with it. Um, in the world of acting, because sadly, as much as we would like to think that when we watch a production with two people in a room or in the middle of a very touching scene, we want to think that those two people are just alone, but they're really not. Because there's a cameraman, and there's a director, and there's a boom operator, and there are people listening to that. There are people on standby. You get people that are doing hair, just kind of, gee, I guess there's nothing right there to play with. But taking all the hair and making sure that it looks all good. And then you get the makeup people. Um, if there's some sort of gash on a person's face or whatever it might be, they go in there and they make up. Oh, yeah, and then there's wardrobe, and they're standing ready to, in between scenes, to make sure that everything is touched up and looks good, so that between takes, it's like, well, no, the director didn't like that, so I need the actor to give me something else. So, but between takes, so having those little intimate moments aren't really that intimate unless, pardon me, unless one gets so close to this as an actor. And there are a few actors out there who have commented on the fact that they've been doing a scene with, and usually it happens not in a crowd scene, but usually it happens with just the two actors, that they lose perspective. They don't see a camera anymore. The camera seems to vanish, and the 15 other people that are around them, that are doing this seems to vanish. And in that very moment, in that few seconds sometimes, or that minute, there's a, a connection between these two things, and then between those two people. That energy that happens where everything else goes away. Um, so I'm wondering too, when we go through our day to day life and we go, oh, yeah, I know that's a table. I know that's a chair. I know this is there, and I'm not talking so much about the tables and chairs, but are there people in our world that we see that may or may not be there? Are there things out there that we've put out there to see? Um, Maybe the same sort of thing as color blindness. And I know that's a physical thing. I don't think it's a belief thing. I don't think it's a belief thing. I don't know. Maybe there is a way of correcting that within the insides of here and using this thing. Because um, so those are some of the things that I'm thinking about, is that we really do have a temple. I believe that these things that we have here, our physical bodies, our physical things, are really a temple. Um, and when we allow this temple to be possessed of this spirit, that miraculous and wonderful things happen. Sometimes the things or the distractions of the day will disappear. We'll get that wonderful, vibrant energy um, that goes together. Um, and how that all happens, I don't know. Each and every one of us is slightly different. And as much as we all have our ears and our nose and our eyes and our lips and our tails and hair and fur, and we have calamities that happen to us, not always the same ones. Um, but we all have calamities of one sort or another. Sometimes we focus on them more, or sometimes we focus on them less. And either one of them are probably detrimental to our existence or the happiness of those around us when we focus on them so badly, so much, that it completely freezes us. And sometimes when we don't focus on them enough, we don't learn from them either. So, so just thinking about being able to combine those two things. I'm not going to edit this yet. I have some other things I need to be doing in the day. But hopefully what I will be able to do is put the tags on these things um, but I'd like you to be able to like and subscribe and comment, please, uh, below. Comment on the things. Apparently I only have 7 subscribers. I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. Um, but I would really like to be able to figure out how to get more of this information out to people because I think it's important information. Okay, sorry. Just seeing things on the little screeny thingy that I thought, okay, but that's just lens flare and other artifacts that really aren't there. Kind of follows along what we've been talking about. All right, so like, comment, subscribe. I have no idea how to do the membership thingy. I don't know how to offer up anything for sale. But part of this is just information. Hopefully this information helps you in some way. Hopefully it gives you a better perspective as to who you are because you are important. No matter whether we're the world's biggest sweetheart or the world's biggest butthead. Um, it's often thought about that our temples, this body, needs to have one orifice to excrete all of its stuff out of. Otherwise, we would die of sepsis. So, be grateful that we have, at least in the group of people that we have, one of those beings that is that orifice that gets rid of all the crap. Or, and that crap is a good thing too. You put it on the gardens, it helps the gardens grow, makes the flowers grow nice. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, please comment. And when we get to the point of commenting nicely or kindly, we'll see where that works. Anyway, we'll talk to you again. Bye.